Ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Senator, I'm Singaporean. No.
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
No, Senator. Again, I'm
Okay.
Singaporean.
Let me ask you some hopefully simple questions. You said earlier, in response to a question, that what happened at Tiananmen Square in June of 1989 was a massive protest. Did anything else happen in Tiananmen Square?
Yes, I think it's well documented. There was a massacre.
There was the indiscriminate slaughter of hundreds or thousands of Chinese citizens. Do you agree with the Trump administration and the Biden administration that the Chinese government is committing genocide against the Uyghur people?
Senator, I've said this before. I think it's really important that anyone who cares about this topic or any topic can freely express themselves on TikTok.
It's a very simple question that unites both parties in our country and governments around the world. Is the Chinese government committing genocide against the Uyghur people?
Senator Tom Cotton delivers the most brutal congressional interrogation of 2024, systematically dismantling TikTok CEO Shou Chu's carefully constructed denials about Chinese Communist Party influence. Watch as Cotton exposes the coincidence of Chu's promotion to CEO happening the day after China took its golden share in ByteDance, reveals the CEO's 5 years living in Beijing working for a sanctioned military company, and confronts him with the names of American children who died after TikTok's algorithm pushed them towards suicide. Chu refuses to answer simple questions about Uyghur genocide, whether Xi Jinping is a dictator, and whether he fears arrest in China, revealing either complicity or cowardice. Cotton then exposes the Biden administration's shocking double standard, prosecuting American tech companies while giving TikTok a pass, even hiring former ByteDance consultants to sue Meta. This is essential viewing for anyone concerned about foreign influence, big tech accountability, and why our children are dying while politicians play politics with national security. Let's dive into the main video.
Mr. Chu, let's cut straight to the chase. Is TikTok under the influence of the Chinese Communist Party?
No, Senator, we are a private business.
Okay, so you can see that your parent, ByteDance, is subject to the 2017 national security law, which requires Chinese companies to turn over information to the Chinese government and conceal it from the rest of the world. You concede that, correct?
Senator, the Chinese
That's no
business.
question. You conceded it early.
Any company that does, any global business that does business in China has to follow their local laws.
Isn't it the case that ByteDance also has an internal Chinese Communist Party committee?
Like I said, all businesses that operate in China have to follow their local law.
So your parent company is subject to the national security law that requires it to answer to the party. It has its own internal Chinese Communist Party committee. You answer to that parent company, but you expect us to believe that you're not under the influence of the Chinese Communist Party?
I understand this concern, Senator, which is why we built Project Texas.
It was a yes or no question. Okay. Well, you used to work for ByteDance, didn't you? You were the CFO for ByteDance?
That is correct, Senator.
In April 2021, while you were the CFO, the Chinese Communist Party's China Internet Investment Fund purchased a 1% stake in ByteDance's main Chinese subsidiary, the ByteDance Technology Company. In return for that so-called 1% golden share, the party took one of 3 board seats at that subsidiary company. That's correct, isn't it?
It's for the Chinese business.
Is that correct?
It's for the Chinese business, yes.
That deal was finalized on April 30th, 2021. Isn't it true that you were appointed the CEO of TikTok the very next day on May 1, 2021?
Well, it's a coincidence.
It's a coincidence that you were the CFO,
Senator,
that the Chinese Communist Party took its golden share in its board seat, and the very next day you were appointed the CEO of TikTok? That's a hell of a coincidence.
It really is, Senator.
Yeah, it is. Okay. And before ByteDance, you were at a Chinese company called Xiaomi, is that correct?
Yes, I used to work around the world.
Where did you live when you worked at Xiaomi?
I lived in China, like many expats.
Where exactly?
In Beijing, in China.
How many years did you live in Beijing?
Senator, I worked there for about 5 years.
So you lived there for 5 years?
Yes.
Isn't it the case that Xiaomi was sanctioned by the United States government in 2021 for being a communist Chinese military company?
I'm here to talk about TikTok. I think they then had a lawsuit and it was overturned. I can't remember the details. It's another company.
The Biden administration that reversed those sanctions, just like, by the way, they reversed the terrorist designation on the Houthis in Yemen. How's that working out for them? But it was sanctioned as a Chinese communist military company. So you said today, as you often say, that you live in Singapore. Of what nation are you a citizen?
Singapore.
Are you a citizen of any other nation?
No, Senator.
Have you ever applied for Chinese citizenship?
Senator, I served my nation in Singapore. No, I did not.
Do you have a Singaporean passport?
Yes, and I served my military for two and a
you
half
ha-
years in Singapore.
Do you have any other passports from any other nations?
No, Senator.
Your wife is an American citizen. Your children are American citizens.
That's correct.
Have you ever applied for American citizenship?
No, not yet.
Okay. Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Senator, I'm Singaporean. No.
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
No, Senator. Again, I'm
Okay.
Singaporean.
Let me ask you some hopefully simple questions. You said earlier, in response to a question, that what happened at Tiananmen Square in June of 1989 was a massive protest. Did anything else happen in Tiananmen Square?
Yes, I think it's well documented. There was a massacre.
There was the indiscriminate slaughter of hundreds or thousands of Chinese citizens. Do you agree with the Trump administration and the Biden administration that the Chinese government is committing genocide against the Uyghur people?
Senator, I've said this before. I think it's really important that anyone who cares about this topic or any topic can freely express themselves on TikTok.
It's a very simple question that unites both parties in our country and governments around the world. Is the Chinese government committing genocide against the Uyghur people?
Senator, anyone, including, you can come into
Yes, sir.
TikTok
Yes,
and
sir.
talk
Yes,
about
sir.
this topic
I'm asking you,
or
yes
any
or no.
topic
You
that
are a
matters to you.
worldly, cosmopolitan, well-educated man who's expressed many opinions on many topics. Is the Chinese government committing genocide against the Uyghur people?
Actually, Senator, I talk mainly about my company, and I'm here to talk about what TikTok does.
Yes or no? You're here to give testimony that's truthful and honest and complete. Let me ask you this. Joe Biden last year said that Xi Jinping was a dictator. Do you agree with Joe Biden? Is Xi Jinping a dictator?
Senator, I'm not going to comment on any world leaders.
Why won't you answer these very simple questions?
Senator, it's not appropriate for
you
me as a
scared?
businessman to comment on world leaders.
Are you scared that you'll lose your job if you say anything negative about the Chinese Communist Party?
I disagree that. You will
Are you
find
scared
content
you'll
that
be
is critical of
arrested and
China on our
disappear the
platform.
next time you go on? Are you scared that you'll be arrested and disappear the next time you go to mainland China?
Senator, you will find content that's critical of China and any
All right.
other country freely on TikTok.
Okay. Let's turn to what TikTok, a tool of the Chinese Communist Party, is doing to America's youth. Does the name Mason Edens ring a bell?
Senator, you may have to give me more specifics if you don't mind.
Yeah, he was a 16-year-old Arkansan. After a breakup in 2022, he went on your platform and searched for things like inspirational quotes and positive affirmations. Instead, he was served up numerous videos glamorizing suicide until he killed himself by gun. What about the name Chase Nazca? Does that ring a bell?
Would you mind giving me more details, please?
He was a 16-year-old who saw more than 1,000 videos on your platform about violence and suicide until he took his own life by stepping in front of a plane or train. Are you aware that his parents, Dean and Michelle, are suing TikTok and ByteDance for pushing their son to take his own life?
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Okay. Finally, Mr. Chu, has the Federal Trade Commission sued TikTok during the Biden administration?
Senator, I cannot talk about whether there's any
Are you
ongoing...
currently being sued by the Federal Trade Commission?
Senator, I cannot talk about any potential lawsuits.
I didn't say
whether they happen or
potential,
not.
actual. Are you being sued by the Federal Trade Commission?
Senator, I think I've given you my answer. I
The
cannot
answer
talk
is
about.
no. Ms. Yacarino's company is being sued, I believe. Mr. Zuckerberg's company is being sued, I believe. Yet TikTok, the agent of the Chinese Communist Party, is not being sued by the Biden administration. Are you familiar with the name Christina Kafara?
You may have to give me more details.
Christina
Senator.
Kafara was a paid advisor to ByteDance, your communist-influenced parent company. She was then hired by the Biden FTC to advise on how to sue Mr. Zuckerberg's company.
Senator, ByteDance
Public
is a global
reports-
company and
public-
not a Chinese communist company.
Public reports
It's owned by global
indicate-
investors.
Public reports indicate that your lobbyist visited the White House more than 40 times in 2022. How many times did your company's lobbyist visit the White House last year?
I don't know that, Senator.
Are you aware that the Biden campaign and the Democratic National Committee is on your platform? They have TikTok accounts?
Senator, we encourage people to come on
Which,
to
by
create
the way,
organic, authentic content.
they won't let their staffers use their personal phones. They give them separate phones that they only use TikTok on.
We encourage everyone to join, including yourself, Senator.
So all these companies are being sued by the FTC. You're not. The FTC has a former paid advisor, your parent, talking about how they can sue Mr. Zuckerberg's company. Joe Biden's reelection campaign, the Democratic National Committee, is on your platform. Let me ask you, have you or anyone else at TikTok communicated with or coordinated with the Biden administration, the Biden campaign, or the Democratic National Committee to influence the flow of information on your platform?
We work with any creators who want to use our campaign. It's all the same process that we have.
So what we have here, we have a company that's a tool of the Chinese Communist Party that is poisoning the minds of America's children, in some cases driving them to suicide, and that at best the Biden administration is taking a pass on, at worst maybe in collaboration with. Thank you, Mr. Chu.
As Senator Cotton concluded his questioning and the committee prepared for a break, the totality of what had been exposed settled over the hearing room with the weight of undeniable truth. Tom Cotton had just delivered what may be the single most important piece of congressional oversight in the social media era, a systematic, unflinching, and absolutely devastating exposure of a threat that combines foreign espionage, corporate malfeasance, and the tragic deaths of American children. This wasn't grandstanding, this wasn't political theater, this was a patriot doing exactly what senators are supposed to do, protecting American interests against foreign adversaries and demanding accountability from those who endanger American lives. Cotton's performance was nothing short of masterful, a clinic in how to conduct effective congressional oversight. While other senators might have accepted Chu's corporate doublespeak and moved on to their next talking point, Cotton came armed with specific facts, devastating timelines, and an unwavering commitment to getting real answers. Every question built upon the previous one, constructing an airtight case that TikTok isn't just another social media platform with content moderation challenges, but a sophisticated tool of Chinese Communist Party influence operating on American soil with the algorithmic blood of American teenagers on its hands. The timeline Cotton exposed regarding Chu's promotion was particularly brilliant and damning. April 30th, 2021, the Chinese Communist Party's investment fund takes its golden share in ByteDance and secures a board seat. May 1st, 2021. The very next day, Shouzi Chu is promoted from CFO to CEO of TikTok. Chu's claim that this was mere coincidence was so absurd that Cotton's sarcastic response, "That's a hell of a coincidence, it really is," perfectly captured what every reasonable person was thinking. This wasn't coincidence. This was coordination. This was the party placing its chosen operative in control of its most valuable intelligence and influence asset targeting America. And Tom Cotton had the receipts to prove it. Cotton's biographical excavation of Chu was equally devastating and necessary. 5 years living in Beijing, working for a company later sanctioned as a Chinese communist military entity. A wife who is American, children who are American, yet Chu himself has never even applied for American citizenship. The portrait that emerged was of a man with deep, prolonged connections to the heart of Chinese Communist Party power, family ties to America that he leverages for credibility, but personal allegiance only to Singapore and, the evidence suggests, to his masters in Beijing. Cotton didn't let him hide behind claims of being an international businessman. He exposed the reality. A man who spent his formative professional years embedded in China's authoritarian system now controls the data and attention of 170 million Americans.